Trying to figure out nutrition for weight loss can feel, well, way too complicated. So today, we're going to strip it all back. We're going to build a simple, number-based blueprint, one step at a time. Let's just dive right in.
This is it, right? It's the biggest question, and honestly, it can be super overwhelming. But what if I told you there's a really straightforward formula to get a solid starting point? That's exactly what we're about to do.
Okay, so every good blueprint has to start with a solid foundation. For us, that's our daily calorie target. This is probably the most important number we're going to figure out.
So here's the simple formula that the source material gives us. You just take your target body weight, in pounds, and multiply it by 12. That's it. This gives us a great starting point for a calorie deficit. Let's see exactly how that works with an example.
The source uses a person who is 150 pounds as their example, so we're going to roll with that. We'll start with that number,
And then we just apply that multiplier of 12.
and boom, we get our foundational number, 1,800. Think of this as our total daily calorie budget. It's the energy we get to spend across our protein, fats, and carbs for the whole day.
All right, so we've got our total budget set. Now it's time to lay down the first building block, protein. This macro is absolutely crucial, especially for holding on to muscle while you're losing weight.
And the formula for this, it's incredibly simple. You just take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 1. That gives you your daily protein goal in grams. Yep, it's just a 1-to-1 ratio.
So for our 150-pound person, that's 150 grams of protein. Easy enough. But here's the really important part. We have to convert this back into calories. Every gram of protein has about 4 calories, so we multiply 150 by 4, which gives us 600 calories coming from protein.
Okay, let's keep a running tally of our calorie budget. We started with 1,800 calories for the day,
And we've just spent or allocated 600 of those on our protein goal.
which leaves us with 1,200 calories. And those have to be split between our fats and our carbs.
Next up on the blueprint, we have fats. And you don't want to skip these. Dietary fats are so important for things like hormone function and just your overall health. So we need to make sure we allocate a specific part of our budget here.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. The fat calculation is actually based on our total daily calories, not what's left over. The source suggests taking our starting number, that 1,800 calories, and multiplying it by 0.25 or just 25%.
So 25% of 1,800 is 450 calories from fat. Now to figure out how many grams that is, we just divide by 9, because every gram of fat has 9 calories. And that gives us a daily target of 50 grams of fat.
All right, back to our running tally. We had 1,200 calories left after we accounted for protein.
Now we're going to subtract those 450 calories that we've set aside for fat.
Which leaves us with a final 750 calories. And you know what? That makes our last step incredibly simple.
And here we are, the final piece of our nutritional puzzle, carbohydrates. Using this method, carbs just get to fill up whatever is left of our daily calorie budget. No complicated formulas here.
So we just take those 750 remaining calories and we divide by 4 because carbs have 4 calories per gram, and that gives us our final macro target, 187 grams of carbs. And just like that, our blueprint is totally complete.
So, with all the math out of the way, we can now lay out the complete, finished blueprint for our 150-pound example. Let's see what it looks like all together.
And here it is, all laid out. For a grand total of 1,800 calories, the daily goal is 150 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, and 187 grams of carbs. It's a clear, simple, and actionable plan.
Now, just to show you the final summary exactly as it's written in the source material, it ends with this quote. And you might notice something a little off right away. It lists fat at 150 grams, not the 50 grams we just calculated. This is a great reminder of why it's so important to actually check the math yourself. Based on the formulas that were provided, our 50-gram calculation is the correct one for this blueprint.
So here's the most important takeaway. Think of this as a starting blueprint, not some permanent rule book written in stone. It gives you a logical, solid place to begin your journey, to test things out, and to adjust based on your own results and, how you feel. So the real question is, what are you going to build with it?